to our CoSIDA Special Awards video tributes. Today we are honoring our distinguished 2020 and 2021 CoSIDA Bob Kenworthy Community Service Award recipients. I'm Kenisha Rhone, the 2019 recipient, and I am thrilled to speak to our most recent Kenworthy Award honorees. We wish we could salute you here in person, but in virtual environment, we are so thankful that you are joining us today via video. So let's offer our congratulations to our 2020 recipient, Patrick Walsh, the Associate Director of Communications at Little Rock. And here is our 2021 Kenworthy Award honoree, Chris Mitchell, Manager of District Communications for the Granite City community for Unit School District number 9, and formerly of Washington University in St. Louis. Hey guys, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Kenisha.
The Bob Kenworthy Community Service Award is presented annually to a CoSIDA member for civic involvement, community service, and their accomplishments with or outside of the sports information profession. So I have a couple of questions for you too. First, I want to start with the idea of this great service thing that we've been doing. I know how I've made it manage, but how are you both balancing your work and personal social lives and your commitment to serve? I'll start with you, Patrick.
Well, I think we all know that in our profession, time management is critical. And so it's really just taking the tools we've used and we know how to use in that area and applying it to something that we're passionate about. And giving back to the community is something I'm passionate about. I always have been. And so being able to carve a little bit of time out of each week or each month, it doesn't have to be an enormous amount of time. It can be just a little bit here, a little bit there. It just takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of time, and you can make a profound impact on someone's life. And so I try to do that as much as possible, as much as time allows. There's a lot of times in crossover season where not a whole lot of time allows, and that's perfectly fine. Knowing that I can kind of compensate for that on the other end of the side when it's summer and there's no sports going, and I've got all the time in the world. And so, but it's usually the tools that we already know, we already have at our disposal, and we utilize throughout the course of the year, and just applying that to just another different thing that we do within our own lives.
Chris, what about you?
Well, to echo what Patrick said, obviously commitment to serving is a huge priority for me. I enjoy giving back in my new role in the Granite City School District number 9 in Granite City, Illinois. It allows me to honestly work more to giving back. I spend a lot of time with our local Rotary in Granite City, and going from school to school is also very important to me, and supporting many of our staff members and our teachers who also kind of have the same priorities as giving back. So, you know, to me, it's more about making it a priority. Like Patrick said, we're all busy. No matter what walk of life or what job you have, you're busy. You could be busy with your family, with school, with work, but you have to make it a priority, and you have to make it find time to do that. So I just make it a priority, and it's worked out well.
Chris, I'm going to stay with you. So you mentioned the priority, both of you did. But what about finding that priority time? How are you motivating yourself to serve, or how are you staying motivated in the athletic communications profession? Well,
I have a kind of a motto that I've lived my life by is give back to those who have given to you. So, you know, right now I work in my hometown of Granite City, Illinois, which is where I grew up. So obviously I have a huge passion for this town and for our young people. I work with K through 12 students now, so I want to see them succeed. That's something I'm very passionate about. Also, I work, you know, very closely with McKendree University, which is where I went to college, and also CoSIDA. These are all things that are very important to me. And all three of those have given me something, you know, big in my life, through education, or, you know, CoSIDA has helped me in my career path, and obviously met some great people. So those aspects is why I give back so much to those three. And then you throw in like my relationship with Samaritan's Feet through CoSIDA. We've brought them to Granite City now, and you know, it's that's what motivates me is, people that have given to me, I like to give back to them.
Patrick, what are your motivators for serving and staying involved in athletic communications?
I think the first thing you have to understand is you have to recognize your passions. What are you passionate about? I found a handful of things I've been passionate about. One of those things is CoSIDA. I always think that, kind of along the lines of what Chris said, I don't have it as an official motto or anything, but you should always give back to what's given to you. You should always try to kind of repay those that have helped you along the way, or pay it forward. If you can't repay a specific person, pay it forward and teach others, help others, work with others, and be able to pay that and teach others, and let others kind of see your example, and learn from that. And hopefully you pass on not just a benefit to someone else, but also you kind of show others that giving back and being active, and being supportive is a positive thing, and something to emulate in some fashion or form.
Thanks for that. I appreciate you all sharing about that motivation, because sometimes we're just trying to figure out how to find that 25th hour in our 24-hour day to make sure that we are paying back those things that have been poured into us. So, Chris, you mentioned Samaritan's Feet. Can you tell us about your favorite community service project, if it's Samaritan Feet or another organization?
So I'm going to share a couple. Obviously, CoSIDA has worked very closely with Samaritan's Feet and many of our CoSIDA community service projects at each convention. And, those really stand out. The smile that you see on the kids' faces when they get a new pair of shoes, or new socks. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Davis from the Missouri Valley Conference, who kind of introduced me to Samaritan's Feet, and now we have since brought that to our Grant City School District. And Denise Blomberg from Samaritan's Feet actually came down from up north, and we had a nice event here. Another one that really stands out is in 2016 in Dallas at CoSIDA, we worked with the Miracle Network of Frisco, hosted a baseball camp. And that, I feel like the impact that we had on those young children those days, I mean, that still sticks with me. And that's, been over 5 years ago. Those memories and the impact that you can leave, I wish we could do more of those within CoSIDA. It's only normally, 3 or 4 hour project, but I think we've left our mark at each city that we visit. And obviously we've been fortunate enough to go back to Orlando so many times that, CoSIDA has a great relationship with the city of Orlando. And I feel like, we've done some great things there, but working with Samaritan's Feet and our shoe drive here in Granite City, or with CoSIDA, and then also our Miracle League baseball camp that we hosted, is definitely two things that really stand out to me.
What about you, Patrick? What are your favorite community service projects?
Man, that's a tough question, because, like I said, I follow my passions and I follow what matters to me. I know my work in CoSIDA and volunteering on various committees has been important to me, because, again, I think it's given back so much to me. I think one of the things, probably the most impactful thing I've been able to do, and it's not a regular habitual thing, and thank God for that, is that when I was, a few years ago, I had a college friend of mine, a fraternity brother, who was a police officer in Columbia, South Carolina, was shot and killed in the line of duty. And he left behind a wife and a 6-month-old son at that time. And so, you want to know how you can respond to that, how you can do something, how do you react to that? And it's indeed, it's a tragedy. And so what I did is I just chose to put my tools to use. My tools is getting out a message and reaching people. And so I spearheaded an effort along with some of my fraternity brothers, and we raised over $200,000 in less than 48 hours for his wife and son. Nothing can replace him. Nothing can bring him back. But to know that there is people willing to help in a time of need, in a time of tragedy, and to support someone that's going through that unspeakable tragedy, that has probably been one of the most impactful things. And knowing that I can apply what I do in a professional environment into this other area of my life, and it can truly be of help to someone.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Congratulations for such a great project and having such an immediate impact, even in the midst of tragedy. I do want to touch on something that you both mentioned about priority earlier. I mean, there's so many people who are going to be watching this video today who want to be involved, who may think, I don't have the time. I don't know how to connect with folks. So can you both talk to our members and tell them about some ways that they can manage their time and figure out ways to adjust their schedule, how to reprioritize some things to get involved in those community service aspects? I'll stay with you, Patrick.
Okay, I'll say it again. First, it's finding your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy? I think the biggest challenge people think about when trying to get involved is they think, okay, I want to dive in head first and do these big grand things, and I don't know where to get started. And I think you should do the opposite. Do a little bit at a time. Just go call and see if you can donate some food to a shelter or some clothes to a shelter, or maybe someone who is active in something, say, hey, can I tag along and help out a little bit? When it comes to prioritizing time, that's up to you. If you want to do it and it's something that you're really interested in, then just make time. We all have excuses. We all have other things going on in our lives. It's a matter of saying, no, on this Saturday, I'm going to take an hour and do this or do that or the other. You could literally do something as simple as clean up trash on the side of the road by yourself, just to beautify your neighborhood, beautify your community. Or you could go volunteer, be a part of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or anything like that. The opportunities are truly endless. It's a matter of you just kind of taking a minute. What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy? Or what are you interested in? And how can I then give a little bit of my time to help others in that area? When you really sit down and just don't look at the big picture, but just will it down to something simple and small and start there, the opportunities present themselves every day of the week.
That is so true. Literally every day our communities are in need. And so there's always an opportunity for us to pitch in. Chris, I'm going to toss it to you and ask about a different aspect of that and the impact it can have on the people who are doing the volunteering, and use that as part of your explanation of how folks can find a way to get involved.
Well, being a leader and showing people that you care, Kenisha, hopefully you can drag some people in with you. One example I can share is, 10 plus years ago, Jeremy Rosenthal of Indiana was a young, aspiring CoSIDA member, and introduced myself, met him, got him into the CoSIDA Goodwill and Wellness Committee. And 10 years later, look what he's done. So I wanted to piggyback a little bit on what Patrick said about passion. Finding your niche is really important. Just find something that's really important to you. And then hopefully you can find some other people that, hey, Patrick, why don't you join me? So that's, I recently joined Rotary in Granite City as part of my new job with the school district. And early on, Kenisha took it nice and slow and wanted to make sure that I was, just the person that was listening and learning. And now that I've been a part of it now for, 6 to 9 months, I want to be one of the leaders and one of the people that, that hopes to make a difference. And to steal a line from a former, from the Walsh women's soccer coach, Jim Conlon. When I traveled a lot with our soccer programs, and he always told his team, no matter the outcome, we're going to leave this area or bench better than it was. So it's always nice to leave something better than it was when you arrived. And whatever that may be, a bench, a job, or a community service project.
That is so very true. We have to touch the places and the spaces that haven't been touched and leave it in a better way than we found it. That's our true impact in the community. I want to know your origin stories. Like, what triggered this bug in the both of you that made you want to be involved in your communities and do civic service? Is there someone that comes to mind? Is there a particular situation, a role model, someone that you followed as a mentor in your growing up time that made you say, wow, I can do all these great volunteer activities, I can do more community service, or just open your eyes that was even a world that was even out there? Chris, I'll stay with you.
Kenisha, great question. To be honest with you, my time of giving back within community service started in CoSIDA. I think it was more getting to know more people. Like Sam Atkinson and Ryan Klinkner were two of the people that introduced me to the Goodwill and Wellness Committee. I was a part of the membership committee for a long time, but joining their committee really opened my eyes to a lot and how I can make a difference. I wasn't involved in community service a ton growing up as a kid or even in college or my early days in my professional career. But I think just seeing the impact of some of the projects and community service projects that we had through CoSIDA, that really opened up my eyes. And probably one that kind of stands out with CoSIDA, back in 2010 or 11, we hosted in St. Louis, and we went to St. Patrick's Center. And since I was living in St. Louis, I kind of took the lead on that. And that was kind of the first project where I thought, man, I can do more. I can do more. I think I found my niche, or like Patrick said, my passion. So that was a big event and a big time for me about 10 years ago.
Thanks for that. That was an awesome experience. I'm from St. Louis, and so I'd already seen that environment have such an impact on the community. And so that was really exciting to be a part of. Patrick, what was your inspiration? What sparked you? What was your fuel?
I think it's been ingrained in me since day one, because my grandmother has, throughout her life, has always been active in her community, whether it's something involving her church, or she has helped raise money for St. Anthony's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida, where she lives. At one point, she was on the Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield board of directors. Just has always done something. Everyone's talked about, I can't, even in time of COVID, that I can't do this, can't do that, the other, and I dare any pandemic to keep her down, to keep her from doing anything. She just always has a driving spirit and has always given back. And so I think a part of me has learned that from her throughout my life, just from growing up and seeing what she's done. And the second area that I feel I've really learned that, and that's been instilled in me, is growing up. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and I was a part of the Kentucky YMCA programs, specifically with youth and government. And a lot of people in that group have really instilled the sense of community and service. And Joe Brigardner is one that really led the way in Kentucky for, he created programs like Service to the South and Service to the Commonwealth, where high school students would just go around to wherever they were at and just help contribute to areas. Didn't participate in every single one of those, because you do have time limits. We have to manage our time. But just seeing that and really energizing high school students in that, and middle school students in those facets, really inspired me to continue to keep going, and knowing that I didn't have to stop that when I left those programs. I could keep contributing to my community after that.
This has been such a great time with you two. I know you all because we've been together, doing community service through CoSIDA together. So this is so great to hear so many more things about you and your passions behind your desire to be involved in your community. So here's my final question for the two of you. It's not even a question. I just want you to think about what you would say to the younger versions of yourselves, or younger professionals, or even now seasoned professionals who've now figured out a way to carve out time in their schedules. What are some final thoughts you'd like to leave with our folks today? I'll start with you, Patrick. Go ahead.
Okay. The one thing I'll say is, I think the past year and a half has allowed us all to the opportunity to do some reflection and introspection. And the one thing that this pandemic I think really resonates with me and with others is that we have to take care of ourselves, and then we have to help take care of others. We've seen what negative sides of things can do, but we've also seen in the events of tragedy and stress and strife, what positives can come out and of giving back. You look at what healthcare providers all across the world have done over the last year plus with the challenges that they faced. I think that's given us a chance to really truly understand and appreciate giving back. And I really can just really hope that everyone takes just a moment to think about that, and hopefully let that motivate them to also give back in any way, shape, or form that they can.
Thanks for that. Chris, what are your final thoughts you want to share with our audience?
My final thoughts are, first of all, congrats to Patrick, and thank you, Kenisha, for having us both on. I mentioned this earlier on, but I live by this quote of "Give back to those who have given to you." Think about somebody or some organization, or just think about someone that has given back or had a huge impact in your life, and think about how you can return the favor or make a difference in your community or at work. That's really important to me. And I get it. Everybody is busy. But find something, like Patrick said, that is a passion or a niche. Find that passion and see how you can give back to whatever it is, if it's financially or if it's by service, and try to leave that place better than you found it. And but yeah, that's what I gotta say. And just thank you very much for having us on.
Well, congratulations to you two again. Thank you so very much, Patrick and Chris, for joining us today. Thank you for sharing this time and your tidbits of wisdom with our membership. Again, congratulations. Welcome to the Kenworthy family. This is an amazing group of servants who love helping our communities. And so once again, thank you both, and thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day.